This is an introduction to our property management system, Interaction Booking Manager, or IBM for short, and your property owners portal or console. It's through IBM that we automatically process and coordinate all our bookings and payments, housekeeping, property maintenance, communications, and where we also upload all the financial data into our trust accounting program. As it is a critical part of our business, we have also a property owners portal which every owner can log into to check out on his individual property, to see how it's going and to keep abreast on how the property is performing. You also use this portal to make owner bookings. If you don't already have your username and password to be able to log into this property, into this console I should say, or you've forgotten them, then please contact our office so that we can send them to you again. Now, on logging in, the first page that comes up by default is the financial report, which compares, it's a snapshot I would say, as I'd call it, a snapshot of how your property has performed over the previous 12 months compared to the 12 months prior to that. And if you roll your mouse over each one of the bars, you'll see that the figure is represented in dollar terms as well. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, all the data used to compile the chart is all here as well in dollar terms and percentages, etc., etc. Now you can filter the chart by the date range here. So if you say, I just wanted to find out how the last quarter was, how it performed for the last quarter, you can do that, or for 2 years you can do that. And you can also filter it by the reservation date, which is the default rate that will come up when you first open, a check-in date, and also your check-out date. Now the reservation date it gives you a very good indication of how your property is currently performing, and the thing to remember that in the current month, of course, depending on the time of the month, it could be showing, as is here, that it is quite some way behind last year. But you'll see that we're trading particularly strongly, and the indications are that we certainly will exceed the same month last year. If you then go into the checkout, which is the next important part, so you just select the checkout date and go search, the chart immediately changes to the figures representing the date the guest actually checked out. And this is a good indication of the cash flow that you have been receiving over the last 12 months. Again, if you roll your mouse over each one of the bars, you'll see it represented in the dollar terms, and if you scroll right down to the bottom of the page, you'll see the same information as a table. Again, bear in mind that these are income, your booking income. They're not net figures, they have no expenses or anything else like that deducted from them. So use them as an indication only of how your property is performing. For the true financial situation involving your property, always log into your console on our trust accounting program. Now, as well as this financial report, you have a number of other reports across the top of the page here that also give you very valuable information. If you have elected to receive an SMS from us whenever a new booking is received for your property, you would, to find out what it actually entailed, you'd go into our reservation reports, the first report, and these are all the properties, all the bookings that have come into the system for your property. And again, this can be selected by date range or filtered by date range and a few other filters as well. But In the case of, say, you did receive an SMS saying a new booking has been received, you'd log into your console, click the reservation report, and then the first property that come up would be the one that has just been received. These are, as I said, in chronological order. If you want to get the details of each, you just click on it, and that will bring up the booking, the amount of the booking, who the guest was staying, the source invariably of where the booking came from, etc. So again, it's all totally transparent as far as the booking information is concerned. That, by the way, opens in a new window, so you can close that down. It'll bring you straight back to your main console page. The next one is your booking sheet. What this does is represents a month's figures with the bookings that have received for that month highlighted there. If you roll your mouse over them, you'll see that you can see the information that is relative to them, and also you can click on it if you like, and it will bring up the same information as it does in the reservation report. You then have your statistics reports, and that will give you the statistics for the month. You're going to change the various months, and it just shows you how many bookings you've got, the nights that have been allocated for that are available, that would be available to be booked that month. For example, you might have taken the property off for 2 weeks to do some painting, in which case that would show as being 14 nights. The number of nights that have actually been booked, the average length of stay, your occupancy rate, the average nightly rate, etc., etc. So again, a lot of valuable information in there as well. The monthly report is basically the same report as you see on the bottom of your financial reports, where the graph is. Just that if you just want to look at the figures only, you'd click the monthly report. The financial report, as I've said, is your bar chart. There's also one for countries, the country report, and if we click on that, it will show you where the guest booked, what countries the guest was in when they made the booking. Obviously, Australia being Australia, 99% of it, well no, not 98% in this case, are bookings within Australia, but you'll notice on this particular instance, we've had bookings come in from the United Kingdom, New Zealand, France, and Germany. There's 2 other reports here at the end. The allocation report is basically, you can use that as basically the same as you would the booking sheet. You can check availability and things like that. And then the last one is your rates report, and these are the gross rates that we have applied, gross seasonal rates that we have applied and are using in your property to calculate our rates. Bear in mind, these are the gross rates. They don't include any stay longer, pay less discounts. Now, the other big advantage and use of your Owners Console is that it's through this console that you make your owners bookings. And to do so, up here there is a link, just says click here to make an owner booking, and you click on that link, and that will bring up your page ready to make a booking. By selecting the dates, you'll see that the greyed out areas are not available to be booked, and that eliminates any need or any risk of double booking. So if we just select, for example, to check in on this date and to check out, say I want to stay a week, and there are, say, 4 people for the lake for Angels, and then hit proceed. Because you've opened this up and booked it through the console, the system will automatically deduct the gross tariff to $0. Then you proceed to make your booking. If this is your first time that you've used our system, to make an owner's booking, you click the proceed with payment button on the top. You enter your email address. Now, if you haven't used it before, you do need to do this just for once, and I'll show you why. I've just typed my own email address in here, and it just automatically fills the guest information in. So the first time you use it, you'll need to fill that in so that the system does get a record of your customer information. But once you've done that, it'll remember it, so you just put your email address in and it'll auto-fill these, which makes it very, very simple and easy. How do you find it? You just click the little down button until you find owner and select that. If you've got any notes or comments that you need to make, for example, if you're making an owner's booking for immediate family or very close friends, then we do ask that you give the name of the person who's staying and also a mobile phone number so that we can contact them if we need to while they're staying with us. In case of emergency, well, this is where you put it in there. Now, the system does require that some form of payment, and since you're not paying, being the owner, as it shows here, there's nothing to pay, but we've still got to go through the process. So you click Pay by Bank Transfer or Payment ID. You click the two agree to abide by the cancellation policies and abide by the terms and conditions, which is down the very bottom, and then you would then make a booking. As soon as you click that, that would immediately block it off the system. It would go offline. You'd receive an email and it drops into our system, and it will also drop into your system. You'd need to refresh your screen, but it would drop into your system virtually instantaneously. So that's how you make an owner's booking. Now, the most important thing to bear in mind though, and it is very, very important, you can only use your owner booking for immediate family and close friends. Accepting any form of payment or recompense on an owner's booking would contravene our management agreement, and we'd take a very dim view of that because obviously that's our livelihood. If you do want to make a special rate to a specific work colleague or some other acquaintance, please contact us first. We can organise a discount code that you can then give them, and let's, for the lack of any, call it mates rates, for example, with a 10% discount. We set it up so that would apply to your account. You could then tell your friend or acquaintance, look, my property's being managed for me. I can't give my property away for nothing, but I've contacted them, and if you put this code in, you'll get a special discount that I've organised for you. So you end up being the hero. We still make a certain amount of money out of it for managing your property, and why that's just so important, generally speaking, with all our owners' bookings, we pass on our cleaning and linen costs to you at cost. We don't intend to make a profit on our owners' bookings, and that's why it's such an important part or a commitment on your behalf that you use these owner bookings facilities the way they're intended to be used. There's one other little, I'll now get out of that and just go back to our console again. There's one other very neat little function on these, and by the way, this console is available either as a desktop or as a mobile console, and we suggest you do save it to your phone if for no other reason than that you can make owners bookings through it. But as well as that, if you've made a booking, say, and you've left and you're on your way to come and start your property and realise you've left your own keys at home or whatever, up here in the very top right hand corner is the lockbox code for your particular property. So what that basically means that if you have lost your keys or left your keys at home, you can just log in, check on it, you've got the code. It means when you get to the property you can use the lockbox to get the keys out, gain access, blah blah blah. The only important thing, very important thing, is to when you do leave, to make sure you put those keys back in the lockbox and scramble the code so that the code is hidden for security reasons, obviously. So I trust this helps you navigate around your owner's portal. But if you do have any queries, please don't hesitate to contact either Stacey or one of our teams, and we can certainly help you. Thanks for your time.